friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sadia the Billfile. Today we're going to be discussing my May TBR. For May, I'm going to be participating in the Kindle MAYhem challenge that Nicole from Dusty Books Sniffers and Neva from Reading with Neva have started, and it's just a challenge for you to help clear out your Kindle. All this information will be put in the description, including the links to Neva and Nicole's channels. Okay, so we're gonna go into the books that I have specifically added to my Kindle Unlimited list for this challenge. Okay, so the first one, I will put all the covers on the screen as I'm talking about them, obviously because I do not have them physically, is They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. Okay, so it is, let me tell you what it's about. Scarlett Clark is an exceptional English professor, but she's even better at getting away with murder. Every year she searches for the worst man at Gorman University and plots his well-deserved demise. Interesting. Thanks to her meticulous planning, she's avoided drawing attention to herself, but as she prepares for her biggest kill yet, the school starts probing into the growing body count on campus. Determined to keep her enemies close, Sarda insinuates herself into the investigation and charms the woman in charge, Dr. Mina Pierce. Everything is going according to her master plan until she loses control with her latest victim, putting her secret life at risk of exposure. Meanwhile, Gorman's student, Charlie Schiller, is just trying to survive her freshman year. Finally free of her emotionally abusive father, all Carly wants to do is focus on her studies and fade into the background. Her new roommate has other ideas. Addison Hadley is cool and confident, and everything Carly wishes she could be, and the two girls quickly form an intense friendship. So when Allison is sexually assaulted at a party, oh no, Carly becomes obsessed with making the attacker pay and turning her fantasies about revenge into reality. So, I don't know if you can tell, but this is a thriller, mystery thriller. Also, it's apparently gay, which I think I knew, but wasn't like aware of how gay, because it sounds super gay. And it's just, honestly, someone mentioned it at some point, and it's just been on my Kindle Unlimited list forever, so I'm excited for that one. Book 2, very different. It's nowhere near in the same realm. It is The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow. Okay, so also preface this. Some of my favorite books are Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion. I'm very interested in like other people's fictional or like, you know, concepts where they take other characters out of the book and like write their story. So that's what this is. Let me tell you what it's about. Mary, the bookish ugly duckling of Pride and Prejudice 5 Minute Pictures, emerges from the shadows and transforms into a desired woman with a choice of her own. Yeah. Mary in Pride and Prejudice is a very underlooked character. Like, she's just kind of like, oh yeah, just one of her sisters. So I'm excited. What if Mary Bennett's life took a different path than laid out for her in Pride and Prejudice? What if the frustrated intellectual of the Bennett family, the marginalized middle daughter, the plain girl who takes refuge in her books, eventually found fulfillment enjoyed by her prettier, more confident sisters? This is the plot of Janice Hadlow's The Other Bennett Sister, a debut novel with exactly the affection and authority satisfied Jane Austen fans. Ultimately, Mary's journey is like that taken by every Austen heroine. She learns that she can only expect joy when she has accepted who she really is. She must throw off the false expectations and wrong ideas that had combined to obscure her true nature and prevent her from what makes her happy. Only when she undergoes this evolution does she have a chance at finding fulfillment. Only then does she have the clarity to recognize her partner when he presents himself and only at the moment is she genuinely worthy of love. It's really good. I'm excited for Mary. Mary has always, like, she's overlooked. She doesn't really talk about her. at the end of Pride and Prejudice, they briefly are like, oh yeah, Mary's at home still, you know? So I always wanted, you know, more for her. So I should theoretically love this book. So that is the second one. The third and the fourth one, because I will talk about them together, is going to be Spellbreaker and Spellmaker by Charlie Holmberg, and this is a duology by Charlie Holmberg. I recently read the Paper Magician series by Charlie Holmberg, and I love that whole series. I binged literally all 4 of them within like a week. So I'm excited for another series by them, and I figured this is just 2 books. I can put it on my Katy list, and if I love them as much as I love the Paper Magician series, they'll get finished within the month. So let me tell you what the first one's about. The orphan Elsie Camden learned as a girl that there are 2 kinds of wizards in the world. Ooh, wizards. Those who pay for the power to cast spells, and those like her, born with the ability to break them. But as an unlicensed magic user, her gift is a crime. Commissioned by an underground group known as the Cowls, Elsie uses her spell breaking to push back against the aristocrats and help the common man. She always did love the tales of Robin Hood. A lead magic user, Bacchus Kelsey, is an interesting name, is one to lose his spell away from his mastership when he catches Elsie breaking an enchantment. To protect her secret, Elsie strikes a bargain. She helps Bacchus fix unruly spells around his estate if he doesn't turn her in. Working together, Elsie's trust in and fondness for the handsome stranger grows. So does her trepidation and the rise in the murder of wizards and the theft of spellbooks their bodies leave behind. For a rogue spellbreaker like Elsie, there's so much to learn about her powers, her family, the intriguing Bacchus, and the untold dangers shadowing every step of a journey she's destined to complete. But will she uncover the mysteries before it's too late to save everything she loves? So that's that series. It's Spellmaker, and the second one's called Spellbreaker, and the second one's called Spellmaker. Yeah. So I'm excited. It sounds interesting. So that is the third and fourth book. Number 6 is going to be the Sunbearer Trials by Aiden Thomas. And this is a book that I recently saw a couple people reading on the interwebs. And it just sounded so interesting. And also, this author has a couple other books that I'm also interested in. But this one is a duology, I believe, and the second one is coming out real soon. I figured I'd just start with this book or this series for this author. So that's why it's on here. It's also got a really pretty cover. I love this cover. Also, every time I go to Target, it's in the aisle, the book aisle. Because who doesn't just go to the book aisle when you go to Target? It stares at me every time. It's telling me, bring me home. So if I like it, I will maybe buy it when next time I go to Target. So that's there. So let me tell you what it's about, though. As each new decade begins, the sun's power must be replenished so that the soul can keep traveling along the sky and keep the evil obsidian gods at bay. 10 semidioses between the ages of 13 and 18 are selected by Sol himself as the most worthy to compete in the Sunbearer Trials. The winner carries light and life to all the temples of Reino del Sol, but the loser has the greatest honor of all. They will be sacrificed to Sol, their bodies used to fuel the sunstones that will protect the people of Reino del Sol the next 10 years. Tio, a 17-year-old jade semidios and trans son of Quetzal, the goddess of birds, has never worried about the trials, or rather, he's only worried for others. His best friend Nia, daughter of Tierra, the god of earth, is one of the strongest heroes of their generation, is much too likely to be chosen this year. He also can't help but worry reluctantly and under protest for Aurelio, a powerful gold semidios, and Teo's friend turned rival who's a shoo-in for the trials. Teo wouldn't mind taking Aurelio down a notch for a notch or two, but in two chance of death is a bit too close for his taste. But then for the first time in over a century, Soul chooses a semideus who isn't a gold. In fact, he chooses two. Zio, the 13-year-old child of Mala Suerte, the god of bad luck, and Teal. Now they must compete in 5 mysterious trials against opponents who are both more powerful and better trained for fame, glory, and their own survival. That sounds amazing. That sounds really good. I'm excited for that one. Okay. So that's book 5. Book 6 is What Lies in the Wood by Kate Alice Marshall. And this one's also, I think, a thriller. Yes, it's a thriller. So, honest and horror. Ooh, there's a lot going on there. And a lot of these are just like, I'm trying to expand my bookish genre horizons. So that's why there's a couple of thrillers on here. There's a couple of more other books that like normally I wouldn't pick up. So this is one of them. Okay, let me read to you what it's about. It says, there were 11 when they sent a killer to prison. They were heroes. But they were liars. Yes, I read the ellipsis out loud. Okay. Naomi Shaw used to believe in magic. 22 years ago, she and her 2 best friends, Cassidy and Olivia, spent the summer roaming the woods, imagining a world of ceremony and wonder. They called it the Goddess Game. The summer ended suddenly when Naomi was attacked. Miraculously, she survived her 17 stab wounds and lived to identify the man who had hurt her. The girl's testimony put away a serial killer wanting for murdering 6 women. They were heroes, and they were liars. For decades, the friends had kept a secret worth killing for. But now Olivia wants to tell, and Naomi sets out to find out what really happened in the woods, no matter how dangerous the truth turns out to be. That sounds amazing. I'm excited. I feel like I'm very excited reading all these thriller plots, but then I don't know if I'm going to actually like them. But that's going to be number 6. Number 7 is Salt and Broom by Sharon Lynn Fisher, and it's essentially Jane Eyre but witchy. So let me tell you a little bit more. It says a gifted healer unravels the mystery of a cursed estate and enigmatic owner in a witchy retelling of Jane Eyre. Salt and Broom make this room safe and tight against the night. Trunks packed with potions and cures, Jane Eyre, spelled A-I-R-E, sets out on a crisp, clear morning in October to face the greatest challenge of her sheltered girls' school existence. A shadow lies over Thornfield Hall and its reclusive master, Edward Rochester, and he's hired her only as a last resort. Jane stumbles again and again as she tries to establish a rapport with her prickly new employer, but he becomes the least of her worries as a mysterious force seems to work against her. Threats mount, and both Jane and Rochester, who become more intriguing and appealing to her by day. Jane begins to fear her herb healing and protective charms may not be enough to save the man she's going to love from a threat darker and more dangerous than either of them had imagined. I love Jane Eyre, so I'm excited for it to be witchy. That sounds great. Number 7. Number 8 is going to be Jade City by Fonda Lee. And all honesty with this one, first of all, it's a very love series. But I just read the synopsis of this, like what it says right here, what I'm going to read to you in a second. And I was just like, I need that. So that's why it's on here. Jade City is a gripping Godfather-esque saga of intergenerational blood feuds, vicious politics, magic, and kung fu. The Qual family is one of 2 crime syndicates that control the island of Kikon. I do not know if this is how any of this is pronounced. It's the only place in the world that produces rare magical jade, which grants those with right training and heritage superhuman abilities. The Greenbone clans of honorable jade-wearing warriors once protected the island from foreign invasion, but nowadays, in a bustling post-war metropolis full of fast cars and foreign money, Greenbone families like the Calls are permanently involved in commerce, construction, and the everyday upkeep of the districts under their protection. When the simmering tension between the Gauls and the greatest rivals erupts into open violence in the streets, the outcome of this clan war would determine the fate of all green bones and the future of Kikon itself. I needed that when I read it. I was like, yes, please, thank you very much. Number 9 is going to be The Heart of the Sun War by Su Lin Tan. This is the sequel to, I have it on my shelf, Daughter of the Moon Goddess. It is the Celestial Kingdom. I absolutely love this book. Last year, I read it like in November or December, and this book literally just re-sparked my love of reading all over again. So I have to read the sequel. Although I will say that, like, I do think that one wrapped up so well. Like, it just like ended in a way that I was like, I'm fine if there's not another one, but I would also absolutely love to be in that world again. So let me tell you what the first one's about. Here we go. A captivating debut fantasy inspired by the legend of Zhang Yi, the Chinese moon goddess, which a young woman's quest to free her mother pits her against the most powerful immortal in the realm. Daughter of the Moon Goddess begins an enchanting romantic duology which weaves ancient Chinese mythology in a sweeping adventure of immortals and magic, where love vies with honor, dream, and follow trail, and hope emerges triumphant. Honestly, that makes sense. That explains it pretty well. And this one is just a continuation of Xing Ying's story and everything that went on in the first one. And I want to be in this world again so bad, so I'm excited for this one. It's also, these covers are so stunning, and obviously once I read it, I'm probably going to end up getting a hardcover version to match the first one on my shelves. Okay, and book 10, it's going to be The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This book right now is pretty popular, but also everyone that I've heard talk about it says it's absolutely insane. Like, the story, the plot twist, they're just crazy. And I am feeling a little bit FOMO, and I want to be in the know and figure out why it's so insane. But let me tell you what it says here. It says, "Welcome to the family," Nina Winchester says as I shake her elegant manicured hand. I smile politely, gazing around the marble hallway. Working here is my last chance to start afresh. I can pretend to be whoever I like, but I'll soon learn that Winchester's secrets are far more dangerous than my own. Every day I clean the Winchester's beautiful house top to bottom. I collect their daughter from school, and I cook a delicious meal from the whole family before heading up to eat alone in my tiny room on the top floor. I try to ignore how Nina makes a mess just to watch me clean it up, how she tells strange lies about her own daughter, and how her husband Andrew seems more broken every day. But as I look into Andrew's handsome brown eyes, so full of pain, it's hard not to imagine what it would be like to live Nina's life. The walk-in closet, the fancy car, the perfect husband. Ooh, sounds intriguing. I only try on one of Nina's pristine white dresses once, just to see what it's like, but she soon finds out, and by the time I realize my attic bedroom door only locks from the outside, it's far too late. But I reassure myself, the Winchesters don't know who I really am. They don't know what I'm capable of. An unbelievable twisty read that will have you glued to the pages later tonight. Anyone who loves The Woman in the Window, The Wife Between Us, and The Girl on Train will be able to put this down. So this is another thriller. It sounds absolutely riveting. Like, it just sounds like so good. I'm absolutely ecstatic for this one. So that's going to be number 10. Okay, number 11 is Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. And honestly, this one I put on the list because on Patreon, Katy from I Would Rather Be Reading, they did a thing where they were reading like the first sentences of a book and trying to see if you can guess it. And she read like basically the first couple paragraphs of this one, and I was like, yes, please, I need that now. So it's on the list for that reason. But let me tell you what it's about. It says Calypso Lilith is a siren with a very big problem, one that stretches up her arm and far into her past. For the last 7 years, Katy has been wearing a bracelet of black beads up her wrist, magical IOUs for favors she once received. Only death or repayment will fulfill her obligations. Everyone knows that if you need a favor, you go to the bargainer to make it happen. He's a man who can get anything you want at a price. And everyone knows that sooner or later he always collects. But for Katy, he's never asked for repayment. Not until now. When Katy finds the bargainer in her room, a grin on his lips and a twinkle in his eyes, she knows that things are about to change. At first, it's admitting a truth, a single bead's worth, acknowledging the attraction between them. But the bargainer is after more than just rekindling their connection. Something is happening in the other world. Fae warriors are going missing one by one, and only women are returned. Each in a glass casket, a child plucked to her breast. For the bargainer to save his people, he needed the help of the siren he spurned long ago, if she can forgive him. That sounds amazing. Also, it sounds like a little bit of a second chance romance. I'm here for it. So that's number 11. Number 12 is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. And honestly, I put this on the list because Mel from Mel Reads, I'll put all these people in the description below. She was reading Hafsa's newest release, which is The Tempest of Tea, and she absolutely loved it. And I was like, well, I can't get that one, but I can get Hafsa's other series, which is this one, which is We Hunt the Flame, which is Sands of Arai. And I was like, okay, we'll put this one on. If I like the writing and gel with it, then I'll read her newest one. So let me tell you what this one's about. People lived because she killed. People died because he lived. Zephyr is the hunter, disguising herself as a man when she braves the cursed forest of ours to feed her people. Nazar is the Prince of Death, assassinating those foolish enough to defy his autocratic father, the Sultan. If Zephyr was exposed as a girl, all of her achievements would be rejected. If Nazar displayed his compassion, his father would punish him in the most brutal of ways. But Zephyr and Nazar are legends in the kingdom of Araya. Arawia. I don't know how to say that. But neither one. I'll put it on the screen. But neither wants to be. War is brewing, and the Ars sweeps closer with each passing day, engulfing the land in shadow. When Zephyr embarks on a quest to uncover a lost artifact that can restore magic to her suffering world and stop the Ars, Nazir is sent by the Sultan on a similar mission. Retrieve the artifact and kill the hunter, but an ancient evil stirs as their journey unfolds, and the prize they seek may pose a threat greater than either can imagine. Actually, that sounds really good. That sounds amazing. Also, I really love the cover on this one. So I'm excited for that. That will be book 12. Book 13, The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I think that's how you say the name, anyways. And this is a romance book. I am not like a massive fan of romance. I'm not a huge romance reader, and I'm just trying to expand, like I said previously, I'm just trying to expand basically all of my genre horizons, but romance in particular. So there's a couple on here. The next couple actually are all romance, I think. So yeah, this is the romance fiction. So this one is, let me read what it's about. Catalina Martin desperately needs a date for her sister's wedding, especially since her little white lie about her American boyfriend has spiraled out of control. Ooh, fake dating. Now everyone she knows, including her ex and his fiance, will be there and eager to meet him. She only has 4 weeks to find someone willing to cross the Atlantic and aid in her deception. New York to Spain is no short flight, and her raucous family won't be easy to fool. Enter Erin Blackford. Her tall, handsome, and condescending colleague who surprisingly offers to step in. She rather refused, but never has there been a more aggravating, blood boiling and insufferable man. But Catalina is desperate, and as the wedding draws near, Erin looks like her best option. And she eventually realizes he might not be as terrible in the real world as he is at the office. Actually, this sounds really cute. I don't know if I'm gonna love it, but we're gonna try it. A couple people that I watch and that I know read romance love this book, so we're gonna see. The next one I have is Flawless by Elsie Silver, and this is the first in the Chestnut Springs series that she has. And honestly, this is on here because a lot of people right now are reading it like as a series altogether, and I have massive FOMO. I was like, I want to read it now. Everybody's reading it, and most people are loving it. So I'm intrigued. But let's read what it's about. The rules were simple. Keep my hands off his daughter and stay out of trouble. But now I'm stuck with her. There's only one bed, and the rules are meant to be broken. Okay, so one bed trope. In the face of professional bull riding, a golden boy, or at least I was, up until it all blew up in my face. Now my agent says I have to clean up my image, so I'm stuck with his ball-busting daughter for the rest of the season. It's my full-time supervisor. But and this is in quotes, obviously, she's his babysitter. But I don't need a goddamn babysitter, especially one with skin-tight jeans, a sexy smirk, and a mouth she can't stop running. A mouth I can't stop thinking about. Because Summer just isn't just another conquest. She sees the man behind the mask, and she doesn't run. She pulls me closer, even when she shouldn't. She says this means nothing. I say this means everything. She says there are boundaries we shouldn't cross, that my reputation can't take any more hits. And neither can her damaged heart. I'm going to steal it anyway. It sounds cute. So that's gonna be book number 14. 15. We're on book 15. We're almost there. Almost done. So the next one in the romance-ish section is Until It Was Love by Pippa Grant. This, I don't remember. It's another sports romance. I don't really remember what it's about. I just remember that Jess from Peaceless Books was talking about it. And when she was talking about it, whatever she was saying, I was interested. I was like, I'm going to put that on my Kindle Unlimited. So I did. I'm going to put that on my Kindle. So I did. But let's read what it's about. I'm sure I remember once I start reading it. There were a million reasons why I shouldn't date Fletcher Huxley. Well, I already don't like his name. He's growly-faced, Southern Street, international rugby legend, trying to revive his failing career in the U.S. after being canned by his team overseas. Well, it's a rugby romance. Maybe I'll be into rugby. I don't know. Well, he might have the good kind of leather thighs, intriguing tattoos, and the booty of steel. He also holds the top position of my very short nemesis list thanks to what happened the first time we met. Plus, his mustache is as terrible as the reason he's picked me to be the woman he wants to date. I don't know. But he's one big check mark in the why this date is a good idea. He's my brother's new mate. They already hate each other. And my brother has made an unfortunate habit of interfering with my love life recently. So a revenge date with Fletcher to make my brother mad while letting Fletcher think his date is merely for the good of the team. Yep, I'm in. I'm moving to London for work in a month, and it's just one day. What could possibly go wrong? Well, I already love her slight, I'm gonna spite both of them attitude from just that. So I think maybe I'll like this one. I don't particularly love the cover, but yeah, that's gonna be book number 16. Oh, actually 15. Yes, 15. Okay. So we're switching from the romance era to other things. So this is going to be sci-fi. This is The Humans by Matt Haig. It's, I think, initially the first book that Matt Haig had that was really popular. I mean, I've always been intrigued by the premise, so I put it on here. Also, I do appreciate this cover. It says, when an extraterrestrial visitor arrives on Earth, his first impressions of the human species are less than positive. Taking the form of Professor Andrew Martin, a prominent mathematician at Cambridge University, the visitor is eager to complete the gruesome task assigned him and hurry home to his own utopian planet where everyone is omniscient and immortal. He is disgusted by the way the humans look, what they eat, their capacity for murder and war, and is equally baffled by the concept of love and family. But as time goes on, he starts to realize there may be more to the strange species than he thought. Disguised as Martin, he drinks wine, reads poetry, develops an ear for rock music, and taste for peanut butter. Slowly, unexpectedly, he forges bonds with Martin's family. He begins to see hope and beauty in the human's imperfection and begins to question the very mission that brought him here. It sounds really good. It sounds like it's going to be slightly introspective about, the humans as a race. And, why not? Here for that. So, yeah, that's going to be on the list. All of these so far I'm very interested in. And I'm very excited that they're all on the list. Okay, The Glass Palace by Catherine Tretner. This is another retelling. This is, I believe, an East of the Sun, West of the Moon retelling. Okay, so I love this cover. Let me tell you what it's about. I read the synopsis and I was like, yes. A curse, arranged marriage, a chance to live happily ever after. For as long as Ashley can remember, she's been betrothed to a stranger. When tragedy strikes, her husband-to-be emerges from the shadows, ready to claim her hand in marriage. Unable to resist the mysterious stranger, she is drawn into a realm of captivating magic and haunting secrets. Tyr, I think that's how you say his name. I will put it on the screen to show you what it says, what it looks like. Has lived behind a silver tiger mask for years, cursed to a dark fate and suspended in time. Astrid could be the one to break the spell, but first he must earn her trust and break through the hard shell encircling her heart. In this extraordinary new life, Astrid will forge friendships, confront ancient creatures through perilous trials and breathtaking adventures. She will have to decide what promises are worth keeping and which must be broken. Immerse yourself in the spellbinding retelling of the classic fairy tale East of the Sun, West of the Moon, where romance and adventure collide in an unforgettable tale of love and magic. It sounds really cute. I am interested. So yeah, that's that one. And then the next one, number 18, is Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Marina Machado. This is a short story collection by them. I'm just gonna read this top part here to explain to you what it's about. In Her Body and Other Parties, Carmen Marina Machado blithely demolishes the arbitrary borders between psychological realism, science fiction, comedy, horror, fantasy, and fabulism. While her work has earned her comparisons to Karen Russell and Kelly Link, she has a voice that is all her own. In this electric and provocative debut, Machado bends genre to shape startling narratives that map the realities of women's lives and violence is visited upon their bodies. That sounds like everything all rolled up into one, and I'm intrigued. And the fact that it's short stories, we can read one a day if we want, and then finish it by the end of the month. It sounds like it's gonna be pretty deep as well, but with all the other ones that I have, I think it's gonna be a good balance between something so intense and something more light. And I do absolutely adore this freaking cover. She also has a couple of other ones that I've been interested in, and so if I like this one, maybe we'll pick up something else of hers. So that's number 18. Number 19. Number 19 is The Mystery of Mrs. Christie. I love this cover, and this is essentially, it's not working. But number 19, it's going to be The Mystery of Mrs. Christie. Beautiful cover. Okay, so it says, in December 1926, Agatha Christie goes missing. Investigators find her empty car at the edge of a deep, gloomy pond. The only clues, some tire tracks made nearby and a fur coat left in the car. Strange for a frigid night, her World War I veteran husband and her daughter have no knowledge of her whereabouts in England, unleashes unprecedented manhunt to find the up-and-coming mystery author. 11 days later, she reappears just as mysteriously as she disappeared, claiming amnesia and providing no explanations of her time away. The puzzle of those missing 11 days have persisted. With her trademark historical fiction exploration into shadows of the past, acclaimed author Marie Benedict brings us the world of Agatha Christie, imagining why such a brilliant would find herself at the center of such murky historical mysteries. What is real and what is mystery? What role did her unfaithful husband play, and what has she not been telling investigators? Agatha Christie's novels have withstood the test of time, due in no small part to Christie's masterful storytelling and clever mind that may never be matched. But Agatha Christie's untold history offers perhaps her greatest mystery of all. That sounds really good. So that is going to be the second to last book on this list. And the last one is The City of Brass by S.J. Chakraborty. This is a very well-beloved series. It has won dozens of awards, been nominated for a bunch of them. But let me tell you what it's about. It says, on the streets of 18th century Cairo, Nari is a con woman of unsurpassed skill. She makes her living swindling Ottoman nobles. So it's very Ottoman inspired. Hoping to one day earn enough to change her fortunes. But Nari accidentally summons Dara, an equally sly, dark, mysterious jinn warrior during one of her cons. She learns that even the cleverest of schemes can have deadly consequences. Forced to flee Cairo, Dara and Nari journey together across hot, wind-swept sands teeming with creatures of fire and rivers where the mythical Marid sleep, past ruins of once magnificent human metropolises and mountains where the circling birds of prey are more than what they seem, to Davidabad, the legendary city of brass. It's a city steeped in magic and fire, where blood can be as dangerous as any spell, a city where old resentments run deep and the royal court rules with a tenuous grip. A city to which Nari is irrevocably bound, and where her very presence threatens to ignite a war that has been simmering for centuries. If that doesn't speak to you, I don't know what does. But that is the last book on this list. That is the whole list. That is what I will be attempting to read in May. I am very hopeful that I can actually get all 20 of them read. So I'm excited for all of these. I hope that I love them all. I'm also looking forward to expanding the genres that I'm reading. And I'm hoping that I like some of the ones that I picked out that are out of the norm for me or out of my comfort zone. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much. And I will see you later. See you another one. Bye, friends.